This is your friend Carol with Piedmont Trails. I am working in the attic today and I wanted to share a short video with all of you. I wanted to share some news, some updates from the website, and I also wanted to share some research tips. That includes a list of online websites that I use a lot. I use them a lot. Genealogy has changed so much throughout the years since I first started. Back when I first started, there wasn't internet, there wasn't online websites that you could go to. It didn't exist. And our genealogy techniques as far as what we use for research, and they change all the time. So I'm going to share with all of you my three number one rules that I strictly go by. I'm very strict with that. And then I'm going to share a small list of online websites that I use quite frequently. So they're one of my favorites. So if you like what you see on Piedmont Trails, I encourage each and every one of you to click the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, let us know that you're here by commenting or making suggestions, and share our videos. We would love to hear from each and every one of you. Working together, we will all preserve our historic past, our family history, and we'll all do this together and preserve it for the future generations. And that's what Piedmont Trails is all about. The number one research tip that I go by is start with what you know. Don't go aimlessly in the dark looking for that light switch to be turned on and hoping to find a record to just be laying out for you, or a document stating, oh, this is what happened to my ancestor. Start with what you know. Sometimes this is very difficult, and we've all been down this road. And if you don't have any information, you may not even have a name, you may not have a location in which to start. This only means that you need to go back a generation. Go back to that generation and where you do know items about and you do know about the proof of your ancestors. Go back to that generation and research further. The further you dig for the records, you will find clues and hints that will guide you along the way. The number two rule I have is document your sources. Doesn't matter how small that you think that they are, or how unimportant they may seem to you at that time of your discovery. Not document it. Write it down. I don't go anywhere without my little trusty notebook. It goes with me everywhere because you never know what each new day may bring. You never know what new discoveries you may find in your normal daily living routines. You just never know. So document everything. And the third number one rule is remember, you have natural talent in what you're doing with researching your family history. Why do I say that? If you are a family historian, you hold within you a natural investigative talent. You have skills that allow you to research. So lean on those skills. Make them work for you. Whenever you're out researching, just stop for a moment, and you're just not getting, maybe you're not getting anywhere quick enough. Just stop, take a deep breath, and think about what you're researching, and use your natural skills to help guide you along the way. Every family historian is a natural investigator. It took me a long time to realize that. But now I know I do have natural skills and the natural talent to seek and learn more. And the more that you get into the records, the more you will realize this. So lean on your natural talent. I'm going to share several websites with you today that I visit frequently. And one of my favorites is archive.org. It is archive.org. I use them a lot because of the tremendous amount of digitized materials, books, lectures, videos, audios, all types of digitized material that is easily available free. And it's an excellent website for an historical researcher. I also use hathitrust.org. It's HATHITRUST.org. Excellent website. I also use jastor.org, JSTOR.org. one of my favorites. Of course, I use archives.gov, which is the government records. We all seek those. And I also use loc.gov, which is, of course, the Library of Congress. I use them a lot. I've used the Library of Congress a lot for maps, early maps, for early newspaper articles. They keep continuously adding on to their digital material, which is great. And not only has the Library of Congress continued with this trend, but your local libraries has also continued with this. Historical societies have also contributed as well, especially during the past couple of years. But libraries are among my favorites. If you're researching in a particular area, and if you can visit your local library, back in my day when I first started, that's what you would need to do, is actually visit the library, because they would hold local materials contributing to family genealogy and historical events that happened in that particular area. More and more of these libraries are beginning to expand their digital online presence, and they keep adding to their collections doing this. So I use libraries very, very often. I use libraries on a worldwide scale. I'm very frequent with London, England, Great Britain, Scotland, Germany, Ireland. All of these have sites of online library search techniques that you can use, and I use them a lot. University libraries, I use a lot. I, I can't tell you how many university libraries I use, but they're tremendous. It's a tremendous amount. And the reason being is because they keep continuing adding to their digital collections, which is great. And I also use them as a personal correspondence. They may not have the material on hand, but I may use WorldCat. If you've not ever used WorldCat, then I suggest you do that, because there's so many books out there, and manuscripts, periodicals, all types of articles that are available for you to guide you along your journey. And you would go to the university libraries and get a contact name. And once I get that contact name, they are my new friend, because I will contact them. If I'm not able to visit there, then it's possible they may be able to work with me to get the material that I seek and go from that point. I also use presidential libraries. I've been known to use them quite often all through the years, and they have a lot more material than what most people seem to think that they do have. So they are amazing to discover as well. So that's a list of the websites that I use, and I use them quite often. I'm going to share with you some updates that we've got going on with Piedmont Trails on the website. You can receive these updates freely. All you have to do is just go to PiedmontTrails.com, click the subscribe button on the website, and you will be the first to know of anything that is published or added to the website. But we do have several updates coming up. The first, most exciting update is that we were able to comprise a little bitty tiny list of colonial indentured servants project surnames. And this is a very, very small list, but we were able to get this going. So expect this list to continuously grow over the weeks, months, and probably through the next year, as we add all of the material that we've been able to discover through this project that we've been working on for over 2 years now. And we will be adding more information to the site. We will include transportation information. We'll include dates, exact location. We will also include details of that particular individual and their family and moving forward. Some of their stories are extraordinary, and they deserve to be remembered, and that's why we started the project to begin with. So we're looking forward to that. We've already added, like I said, a very small list on the website is currently available now. We are also adding more early trails and roads to the early migrations page. This is due to the overwhelming amount of discoveries through the Great Wagon Road project from the past year. And we were able to discover so many new additional roads that I didn't even have any idea about. And how we were able to discover these roads were through various documents, journals, diaries, church histories, various different materials. And you won't find these roads in modern day materials. They just simply, it seems that they, through over time, these roads have vanished. And we don't want that. We want to preserve the way they were back in the 18th century. And it's important to remember them because these were actual roads leading into a particular area, primarily into Kentucky and Tennessee, and also traveling from Pennsylvania through Ohio, going into Indiana and Illinois years later. So we will be adding a great many of those roads onto the early migrations page. We also will be creating a page that'll be brand new on Piedmont Trails, and this is solely dedicated to the Yadkin Valley Railroad project. This is not a new project. It has been going on for a couple of years as well. But we are now at a point to where we can share so much information about North Carolina's oldest existing rail line and the history to this and the families that were involved with some of the history with this, especially through the North Wilkesboro area, is fascinating, and we want to preserve that. So we will be putting that page on Piedmont Trails really, really soon. We're working on it now. And then as we go, we're just about complete with the actual project, but we're to the point now where we're proofreading, we're documenting, we're making sure that everything that we have is up to date, and we've got all of our notes, and then we'll be sharing all that information with you, and we're excited for that. It makes us feel good when we preserve the past. It really does. That's what we're all about. Okay, I'm going to share some news because we've got news coming up for March the 27th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time right here on the Piedmont Trails channel. We're going to have a live stream, and that stream will be about the trading years. I know what some of you may be thinking, oh, what in the world is she talking about now? Well, the trading years will go into detail about the trading techniques that were used by the colonists and Great Britain with the Native American tribes during the early years of the 18th century. We're going to really concentrate on the colonies of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia, but I'm also going to include portions of eastern Tennessee because of the techniques that were used in this particular area greatly influenced the early families to arrive to this area, and it goes into the state of Franklin years. And I'm also going to go into how these trading techniques contributed to the early migration years as families were just traveling by the thousands coming from the northern and middle colonies down to the southern colonies. And I'm also going to offer some theories on how I think some of these particular techniques contributed to the onset of the French and Indian War, and also how it even lingered further into the onset of the American Revolutionary War. Our national history is vital to our family history because it gives us a chance to study it and research it and then experience to a certain degree of what some of our ancestors experienced and what they witnessed, and to know of things that had happened during their time where they were. We'll be discussing how particular items of interest that contributed to the trading years and how important they were. How were they traded? What was traded to get particular certain items? We're going to be discussing the roads in which they used to go back and forth. We're going to also discuss communication techniques. How did the communications come about? How did the whole thing even start? It's fascinating history. And it also gives us a chance to look at the early 18th century history of the Native American tribes and how many different tribes there were and who they were as a people and as an individual. It gives us a small chance in doing that. Although the records, some of the South Carolina records are phenomenal, and they even go into mentioning names of people who lived in these Native American tribes, especially with the Cherokee and with the Catawba tribes. So, yes, we'll go into detail on that. So, that's the end of our little short video. Like I said, if you like what you see on Piedmont Trails, be sure to click the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up and let us know that you're here and join the journey with us. Our ancestors left an amazing trail to follow, so enjoy your journey today to the past. And God bless.